Sean Shapiro is here, former police officer. You know him as the TikTok traffic cop. And askatrafficcop.ca is available for, and there's a newsletter and stuff online where people can go and ask you questions, Sean.
Well, yes, we're live all the time, and I'm answering questions constantly.
Yeah, it's very good. There's the YouTube channel with literally questions. That's what it is. It's like questions and answers. So go get involved on that. If you have questions about things, Sean is the place to go. And that's exactly why we're here, Sean, because I noticed something. You ready for story time?
We're ready.
So I'm driving into Sudbury, the start of any romantic story. I'm driving into Sudbury, and I noticed a sign at the stoplight, the very first stoplight coming into town. I was coming in from the southeast corner. There's a pretty big sign. It said about documenting license plates, that Sudbury Police Service is documenting your license plates, da-da-da-da-da. And I went, oh, that's interesting. And I also kind of went, that's probably a good thing, because then you know who's coming into your city. Maybe that's not bad at all. And then I went and read a little bit more on it, and then they're like, well, we keep it for a few days, and we don't really keep it, but we want to know who's coming and going. Is it a test thing? Is it happening ever? I don't see the problem with it, that knowing what cars come in and out of a city, as long as everybody doesn't judge or any of the other things that are generally not legal anyway, Sean. So tell me, are cities doing this more and more where they're documenting your license plate so they know that you're there?
This is happening in the United States a lot more with flock cameras. This is a system where people can have cameras on their private property and public property, and it's ALPR, automatic license plate readers, that basically record the instance, and generally speaking, nothing ever happens from it. But if the authorities needed to look at it, they'd be able to say, well, they were here at this time, they were there at that time. Oh, we had a robbery here. Could this be? It's clues, footprints, digital footprints or other footprints. I think it's fantastic. A lot of people don't like it because of this privacy concern that, oh, someone knows where you was. Well, there's lots of ways of tracking people. This is one of them, and I think it's fantastic. You go into a shopping plaza now, and not only do they have the cameras that are recording license plates when they enter the property, but they're also recording your face. Like, you go into most shopping centers, they know, they may not know it's you, but they know that this person came and this person left because they're tracking facial recognition. So it's all over the place in all different types of technology, and it's a reality today.
Yeah, well, there was a big stink of that a few years ago in Calgary when the first one really got revealed because they didn't post it anywhere. It was just sort of privately being done. They also track your cell phone. They don't know it's your cell phone, but they know where you go in the mall so they can charge higher rent. I mean, it's good business, really. But at the same time, Sean, when we drive down the street, what's the difference between, hey, did you see a blue Subaru with license plate 123 ABC driving down the road? What's the difference between asking people if they saw the car and getting, yeah, I saw the car, versus seeing it in a photo? I don't understand the difference.
People are so creeped out by all of this stuff. You know, when I started with the police 25 years ago, they warned us that, 7 times, 10 times a day, you're going to be caught on camera. Well, now it's 1 million times a day. Not to mention the fact that you've got Bluetooth active, which is setting a footprint everywhere you walk around. It's amazing where it's going. And if you look at, what was it, that Future Cop with Tom Cruise movie, I can't think of the name right now, but the retinal scanning everywhere you went, that gave you targeted advertising to wherever you were. Well, that's kind of happening using different technology, but everything you do is being tracked. Even your spending on credit cards. There is a profile on you that's for marketing. So this one I actually see as a benefit, because we're going to potentially catch people with Amber Alert situations or warrants or dangerous folks, and that's the goal, is to keep people safer. Could it be misused? Absolutely, and I understand where someone using this for nefarious reasons is a concern, but I tend to trust the police and think that this is a generally good thing.
I think that I find it hypocritical that everybody complains about this when they have Facebook accounts and they're literally giving away all of their footprint data constantly every time we go to a website. And I find that to be a little bit rich, that people would complain about these things. When we think about it, Sean, the reality is, if you watch TV shows, Hollywood shows, I mean, they're checking CCTV cams and red light cams and all of these things. It's information that's everywhere, always. I guess I don't get it. Although here in Ontario, they've decommissioned some of the speeding cameras and all those things, depending on the cities. And it's not the same in every province, because other provinces have already kind of pulled it. But at the same time, there's all kinds of cameras lying around. Why not flip them into these kind of cameras too?
I was going to say that some jurisdictions, and I think very, very smartly, have decided to keep those cameras active and use it for information gathering, and use it for tracking what the speeds are, even if they're not issuing tickets. And why not use the infrastructure that money's been invested in to create to utilize it and do things like, with the Toronto Police, we have auxiliary officers, volunteers. They can't actually write you a ticket, but they can stand there with a laser speed measurement device and record your license plate saying, hey, ABC 123 was doing 60 and a 30. That person deserves a letter, and that they hand over the information that they get and give it to a copper who writes a letter and says, hey, at this date and time, your vehicle was seen at this location doing dumb stuff. And you get a letter saying, don't be dumb. Now, if you have a camera system that does that and has no other consequence except a letter, then at least you're doing an educational component, part of it. But taking it one step further and utilizing the technology for tracking persons coming and going, I really don't see the jump. And you mentioned to it with Facebook, but any app you download and install that is free is tracking you, and you're providing information. You are the product. They're using your information and the use of their app to make money. They're not doing it because they like you.
Yeah, they're not doing it because they like you. School zones. I don't know why there's not a camera in every single school zone.
Listen, I'm the guy that thinks cameras should be on every street, everywhere. I think stop signs should have cameras, intersections should have cameras. Europe and most of the modern world are using this technology because they know that it slows people down. The only thing that keeps people honest is the risk of getting caught, whether it's a ticket or from a camera that's only monetary, or a ticket from an officer. That's really what keeps people honest. And we all know that there's not enough cops to go around. So the odds of actually being stopped and charged by a police officer are incredibly low when you play the game. It's like buying a lottery ticket. When a buddy of mine just got back from Korea, he says, it's automated enforcement everywhere. And generally drivers are doing the right thing. And that's likely the reason. We know that at least 50% of drivers are slowed down by automated enforcement. So I'm a big fan of the cameras being there. And I'm not a big fan of them being removed. And people are writing to me all the time since they've been turned off saying we're already seeing an increase. The comments are consistently saying that we missed these cameras and that they were doing a good job. Unfortunately, they're not popular with some people.
Well, I was going to say, as long as they give a ticket to the bonehead that's going 55 in the 80, that is equally as dangerous, that would be like, they should have a slow speed cameras in there too. I mean, let's be honest.
Well, truthfully, if you can track fast, you can track slow, and seeing strange patterns are good things to know. And we use different technology. It's not automated speed enforcement cameras that would track slow traffic, but certainly there are cameras and Bluetooth systems active on roadways across the city for different purposes, for different analysis of traffic patterns. And with the new AI stuff, I went to an event hosted by the city of Toronto a couple of years ago, and they were showing, and you see this in all the modern television shows, you see an intersection, and it's a camera live feed, and the AI is drawing a box around person, truck, bicycle, and it identifies everything, counts everything, and it's analyzing it so they can get a more effective flow of traffic lights and signals and whatnot.
Yeah, and I'd heard that a police officer shared with a friend of mine, because he was driving a plate, one of his plates. He was just moving the car from the shop to home. Car was insured, so there was no problem, but he did take the plate off his other BMW, and the police officer's car recognized it was the wrong model BMW. And
really?
So so it said, this is not the right car for what the plate's registered for.
That's next level. I'm not aware of Toronto having technology like that. Generally speaking, an ALPR system will identify a plate that is on a list. So whether that's a suspended driver, suspended plate, an insurance flag, wanted person, that sort of thing. I wasn't aware of the fact that they had gone to that level. So maybe that's new and up and coming stuff.
Yeah. Well, rental cars would be a problem. Your buddy borrows a car and speeds and you get pulled over. Those things become issues, obviously, with license plate recognition if it goes too far. But at the same time, I got to tell you, I would love to know who's coming in and out of my neighborhood and make sure that they know if there's repeat bad folks coming in and out, right? I mean, fascinating stuff.
Truly.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that it's with anything. Good things can come or bad things, and it depends on who's got the information. And I'd rather it be a government than a private company who's profiteering from the information and selling it to get you, buying more paper towel or whatnot.
Unless you need paper towel, I agree. In the right hands, is done properly. Askatrafficcop.ca. Get on there. There's a newsletter on there too, YouTube channel, and so much more. Sean Shapiro, thank you.
Always a pleasure. Take care.